Samira Wiley is here with me now. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so used to seeing you in beige and you're wearing this beautiful like orangey color. How
Thank
are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent. You were at Pride yesterday, the Pride Parade in Toronto. How
at
was
Pride
it?
yesterday. It was amazing. The weather was wonderful. The people were wonderful. It was awesome.
It was good to celebrate.
Yes.
Let us talk about your character, Poussey Washington. She was a fan favorite. That's a spoiler because I'm saying was. When did you find out that Poussey would die on Orange is the New Black?
Wow. I've known over a year now.
You've known for over a year.
Yes. I knew before we started production for season 4, when the writers were first coming up with the idea, they very, very, very delicately, and I appreciate, took me aside and told me about it. So I've known for a really long time.
Were you the only one who knew, or your castmates didn't know?
I was the only one who knew.
And how difficult was it to keep that secret?
It was like the hardest thing ever. I'm with these girls on set every single day, having to keep this like deep, dark secret from them. But I did it.
You did it.
Everyone should be proud of me. I did it.
It is, the end of your character. There are ends of characters all the time.
Yes.
On the screen. But this one, it's so intense. The last, how it all happens, how it goes down, and the repercussions of that. How much pressure did you feel to get it right?
I feel like we all collectively felt a lot of pressure to get it right. But I think that is sort of what our show has been about from the beginning, that all of the issues that we tackle this season and seasons past has always been about getting it right. I feel like our show has a lot of integrity in that way, and even making the choice to tell this story, I feel like is starting on the path of getting it right.
What does getting it right mean to you in terms of how you went out on this show?
Absolutely. I think that it means, reflecting what is going on in our time. I feel that it is our responsibility as artists to, have our art imitate life. And getting it right is honestly having people watch something and feel something. At the end of the day, it is television, it is fake, but it can elicit real feelings and real change in people.
Just for people who haven't watched it, here's the spoiler. If you don't want to hear this, then go do something else for 5 seconds. Your character, Poussey, is suffocated by a prison guard during a riot/peaceful protest in the prison, depending on what character's view you're looking this from. And it is, as you say, a death that's reminiscent of real life stories of Black people, mostly men, killed by police in the United States. And for me, watching that scene, it reminded me so much of Eric Garner, the killing of Eric Garner, who also died from suffocation after being put in a chokehold by a police officer in New York. Why do you think, Poussey, your character specifically was chosen to suffer this particular fate?
I've had conversations with Jenji Kohan, the creator, about exactly why she chose Poussey for this. And the way she puts it, and the way that I understand it, is that you want it. It wouldn't have the same impact if it was done with someone who... Poussey has such a clear future.
So
she
hopeful.
has so much potential. You can really see, especially this season, with her relationship with Judy King and the promise of a job outside of prison. Her mind is so forward-thinking this season, and she is not, even though her body is in prison, she is looking so forward to being out. You can see her getting a job. You can see her, rejoining society and being an asset to society, and to have that all taken away from you, from someone who is, I've heard her being referred to as the moral compass, the moral center of the show, is just so much more heartbreaking than it would be someone, another character.
What's fan reaction been like to
gosh.
Poussey getting off the show?
People have been profoundly, profoundly sad, which is, I think, the feelings that we wanted to elicit. And people have been profoundly angry, which is also, I think, something that that I want. I want people to be mad about this because...
What have they been mad about? That you're gone? That you're off the show?
That's what I'm not always clear about, exactly what they're mad about. But I would hope that people are mad about what's going on in the actual world, and not mad at the show for for doing our job and reflecting that.
Yeah. And because this is a show, I mean, since its inception, that has been so true to reality in so many ways, and trying to get us to understand the complexities and nuances of situations. When it comes, to this about real life debates around race and violence and incarceration, as I said, for me, one thing popped into my head. For others, it may be another death at the hands of police in the United States. Do you think that your show was trying to make a specific statement on those issues?
I don't think that we're trying to make a specific statement. I could be wrong, but my interpretation is that this is just what is going on right now, and the fact that you and I are sitting here right now having a conversation about it is exactly what we want. We want people to be talking about it, regardless of what your opinion is, regardless of what you think is right or wrong. We just want people to be talking about it because it is what is happening right now in our world. So the fact that people are just having conversations, the people that are having real emotional reactions to what is happening on television, I think that means we're doing our job.
Well, what's so interesting about the death of your character is that they start showing us it from so many different perspectives, right? Like when I first realized you're dead, I'm like, of course I have sympathy and it's sad and stuff, but then you start seeing how the spin or how different people are affected by it. It's really, really real, and you have sympathy for the representation of people that you think you might otherwise not in the real world.
Exactly. And I think that is just the genius of Jenji Kohan. She is showing, life is complex. Life is not black and white. It's so many different shades of gray. And to be able to show that and us to even have sympathy for the perp is amazing. And it is so true to life.
And you were killed off by a guard who's just the nicest guard in the world, the one that doesn't play into the stereotypical view that some people have of prison guards.
It's so true. I honestly, the actor Alan, I feel sometimes people have a hard time disassociating you from your character. I worry about him sometimes that people just know that he's just an actor. It's okay. But yeah, the character of Bailey, he's not one of the those he's one of the quote unquote good ones, and that how does that make us feel? Our feelings are so jumbled and complicated because it's not as black and white. If it was one of those other guards, it would be so easy your feelings would be, I feel like, so much more clear cut.
Your real life girlfriend wrote this one, right? Wrote this episode?
That is very true.
So she killed you off. I don't know what she's trying to say to you, but there you go.
Yes, she did. She did it. They come up with the story together, but she had the task of writing the episode, and I think she did a beautiful job.
You said you really want people and Jenji and others to have these conversations of what's going on in the real world. But I mean, you're African American. What is that conversation? Because people are saying, well, what do you want me to be talking about, Samira? We've seen these incidents happen. What is a conversation you would like to see viewers have in the wake of what happened to your character and the issues that it raises?
I think that that's a really good question. I might be stumped. No, I think that I want people to honestly, on the just first and foremost, know that this is happening. Know that this is real. There are places in our country, in America, and everywhere in the world who this is not permeated yet. And I want people to honestly just, and this might sound like I don't know, but I really just want people to be talking about it. I want people to be aware of it, aware that there are different experiences in the world right now, and there are people out there who are being discriminated against and killed senselessly because of the color of their skin or because they're marginalized or anything like that. And I want that to be I just want people to be aware of it. And what you want to do about it, that's up to you. I don't have like some really strong feelings about people need to do this, need to do that. I just want people to know that this is a thing that is happening and you cannot ignore it.
What's it made you think about differently or more in how this was all portrayed on screen? Has it changed anything about how you think about these issues?
I think, it's probably what it's done for me is really made me understand my responsibility as an artist and as an actor and stories that I want to tell and stories that I want to be involved in, especially, having my time on Orange come to an end and think about, my career and what I want to do in the future. It's had me realize how powerful television and art and things that are quote unquote, can be superficial or fake, how powerful they can be because they can elicit real change.
I have to say, I knew what was going to happen. I read about it and then I watched the last two, and it's gobsmacking that how this all ends. Not in terms of the end of the season, but how it ends for your character and what it says about those conversations were supposed to be happening. Have you watched?
I have not.
You haven't watched it.
I can't.
You can't.
Not yet.
Too close?
I mean, it's this show has been such a large part of my life for the last 4 years, and once this is gonna sound so sappy, once I watch it, it's really over.
Huh.
So I can't do it yet.
You are not, though, saying goodbye to TV. We're saying bye to you to Poussey on
Yes.
Orange is the New Black. You're joining the FX dramedy You're the Worst.
Yes.
Yeah. What
yes.
can you tell us about that?
I'm playing wonderful actress by the name of Aya Cash plays Gretchen, one of the leads of the show, and I'm playing her therapist this season. So really different from what I've been playing on Orange. It's a half-hour comedy. It's completely different. But the cast there has been so warm and so welcoming, and I'm finding my way. It's not. It's. I mean, like I feel like I know Orange and I know Poussey like the back of my hand, and I'm. This is new waters, new territory for me, but I'm figuring it out.
It's always interesting talking to actors, because you have to say goodbye to some of yourself when your character dies off. You have to say bye to Poussey.
Absolutely.
Hard.
Yes. Come on, what are you trying to do? Make me cry here?
You do what you need to do. I won't make you cry, but I do want to thank you so much for being here.